Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ryan, and we are all nursing students from Northwestern, and we are here today to talk about early and middle childhood and how it affects our nation as well as our communities. Healthy People 2020's goal for this topic is to document and track population-based measures of health and well-being for early and middle childhood populations over time in the U.S. Early and middle childhood is a crucial time period of a person's life, and the requirements for educators to teach health-related courses vary state by state. Early childhood, middle childhood, and adolescence are the three stages of development, and each is determined by necessary developmental tasks or milestones associated with each. This era provides the physical, cognitive, and social or emotional foundations for a healthy life and lifelong learning, and without it, these milestones can be delayed. Although children are for the most part pretty healthy during this time of their lives, they are still susceptible to a variety of conditions. So it is vital that children learn a healthy lifestyle during this time period to ensure the strong health foundation.
Hi, I'm Sarah Hurd, and I have Objective 4.2.1 for Healthy People 2020, which is to increase the proportion of elementary schools that require newly hired staff who teach required health instruction to be certified, licensed, or endorsed by the state. The target for this specific objective is 35.8%, and the baseline back in 2006 when they started to acquire data was 32.5%. In 2014, this objective actually fell to 29.6%, and one reason for that may be that there's a shortage of teachers, so that may count as a disparity for this objective. And we actually have a statistic from Texas saying that 2.6% of teachers that teach health or physical education are teaching outside of their field. This may not mean that they're uncertified, they're just less qualified to teach this subject as compared to others. And the target setting method for Objective 4.2.1 was a 10% improvement method, but it has seen no positive increase since 2006.
Okay, so another objective for this Healthy People 2020 goal is to increase the proportion of middle schools that require newly hired staff who teach required health instruction to be certified, licensed, or endorsed by the state in health education. For a baseline on a national level, in 2006, 50.7% of middle schools, both public and private, did just this and required newly hired staff to be certified or licensed in their respective state in health education if they were to be teaching a health-related course. The target for this Healthy People 2020 goal is to have a 10% increase in this objective and end up with 55.8% of middle schools requiring some sort of licensure or certification in health education when teaching this topic to the middle school population. What I found really interesting when researching this objective was that the percent of middle schools requiring newly hired staff to be certified in health education dropped from 2006 to 2014 by 3.3%. So it kind of makes us wonder, are our nation's school systems becoming more lenient on teaching and education? I also found a statistic from the same source that Sarah found, the same study, and it showed that in Texas it was shown that 16% of all middle school physical education and health teachers are teaching outside of their respective fields. So 2,458 of 13,013 teachers were not licensed or certified in health education if they were teaching it. So this means that they may have had some other sort of certification, just not in this expertise. So some disparities that may have influenced these results would be an increase of middle school students, and like what Sarah said previously, a lack of teachers and a cost can always play a role in it.
Hey, I'm John Nance, and the final objective for this Healthy People 2020 goal is to increase the proportion of high schools that require newly hired staff who teach required health instruction to be certified, licensed, and/or endorsed by the state in health education. So the baseline for this would be 72.8% as of 2006. Our target goal for 2020 is 80.1%, which is a 10% growth just about. The importance of this goal is that, especially in high school, students need a lot of direction in terms of their health. There's a lot of changes going on with their bodies, and just a lot of things that they need information on. So it's very important that those teachers are themselves educated in that field. So in Louisiana, to become a teacher, you either have to go through the traditional route, which is a bachelor's degree with specific education in teaching courses, some alternative ways to become a teacher and teach in a certain field are to get a master's in that field, to have a certification program under your belt, or to be enrolled in a practitioner teacher program. So with that knowledge, you would think that no one in the state of Louisiana is teaching outside of their field. Well, some people have slipped through the cracks. About 2.5% of individuals that teach health in the state of Louisiana are teaching outside of their field. And similarly in Texas, it's about 1.6%. So it's not all that far off, but there is a difference. Some disparities or things that might get in the way of us achieving our goal of 80.1% are just the shortage of teachers, like Ryan and Sarah mentioned. The shortage of teachers is going to lead to a lot of problems. Our schools are being forced to put teachers who maybe taught algebra and are certified in that to teach French when they don't even know French. So learning French from a teacher who doesn't know French is very hard, and that's what can happen with this 2.5% in Louisiana.
Hi, I'm Brooke, and my objective is 4.3.1, which the goal is to increase the proportion of elementary schools that require cumulative instruction in health education that meet the U.S. National Health Education Standards for elementary, middle, and senior high schools. Currently, 7.5% of elementary schools, including public and private schools, required cumulative instruction in health education that met the U.S. National Health Education Standards in 2006. The target setting method was to increase by 4% in hopes of the target being 11.5%. But unfortunately, the percent dropped from 7.5% in 2006 to 1.7% in 2014, leading to a 5.8% drop. The movement was away from the baseline and target, and the percentage change relative to the baseline was statistically significant, being 77.3%. Disparities would be the curriculum doesn't allow for many extracurricular activities. They are mainly focused on academic achievement. Recommendation would be need to inform the community of health disparities through expanded media campaigns such as print, like magazines and ads, or TV, internet, and social media, because more people these days have access to technology. According to the CDC, the National Health Education Standards were developed to establish, promote, and support health-enhancing behaviors for all students in all grade levels from pre-kindergarten through grade 12. The standards, in summary, state that students comprehend concepts related to health promotion and disease prevention. They'll analyze the influence of family, peers, culture, media, technology, and other factors. Will demonstrate the ability to access valid information, products, and service. Demonstrate the ability to use interpersonal communication. Demonstrate the ability to use decision-making skills, goal-setting skills, the ability to practice health-enhancing behaviors, and will demonstrate the ability to advocate for personal, family, and community health.
Hi, I'm Emilee, and my objective is 4.3.2. Increase the proportion of middle schools that require cumulative instruction in health education that meets the U.S. National Education Standards for elementary, middle, and senior high schools. In 2006, this was met by 10.3% of middle schools, that's public and private schools. The 2020 target is 14.3%. This age is early adolescence, so that's approximately ages 11 to 14 years old. The goal of the standard project is to develop a framework of essential knowledge and skills for Louisiana students that accurately reflect contemporary knowledge about teaching and learning, prepare students to apply their knowledge in a variety of situations, and prepare students for a lifelong learning. So some disparities would be like adolescents not communicating with their parents very well, so we need to enhance public health communication internally and externally, along with adolescents to talk and share ideas to improve positive communication for adolescents. The national population data for this, the baseline in 2007 was 69.8%. In 2011 and 2012, it was 70.4%, and the 2020 target is 76.8%. In 2011 and 2012, Louisiana was 70.8%, and Texas was 73.2%, so it was higher than the national population. The Louisiana school laws for grades 1 through 6 is 150 minutes of instruction per week are required in health, and in grades 7 and 8 increases to 250 minutes, and that's Law B 741-2313-F. Non-public schools in Louisiana require 2 units of combined health and physical education for graduation, and that's B 41-2109-C. Texas school laws for the enrichment curriculum, such as for the health education, there is no state requirement for instructional time. However, schools must ensure sufficient time in providing the teachers to teach and the student to learn the health material. Louisiana does promote healthy lifestyle to be met within a certain amount of time for each grade, and Texas does not require a certain amount of time for each grade to be met, but does require the students to have time to learn the material. My group and I think Texas is closer to achieving the 2020 goal for objective 4.3.1 and 4.3.2 because of the state's overall goals have been 2 to 5 times higher than Louisiana. Also, Texas not having a certain amount of time to teach health education, they could possibly spend more time than what Louisiana recommends for teaching students, and students may have a better chance of learning the material better.